The face of the Perth Wildcats. 10 years, 3 championships, and the perfect sporting role model. Western Australia salutes one of its heroes, James Crawford. His story is one with a fairy tale flavour. Humble beginnings. Lower Peachtree, Alabama in the United States. So small, it doesn't rate a mention on the map. From yesterday's rags to today's riches, as a basketball legend in a faraway place, Australia. Geelong, Canberra, before settling here in Perth.
When I think of James Crawford, I think of athlete, I think of determination, I think of discipline, I think of dedication, and to sum it up, I think of success.
Another Wildcats legend was responsible for Crawford's arrival in Australia, Cal Bruton and JC together in Geelong. They would again join forces in the West to lay the foundations for years of NBL domination.
I would say the consummate performer would have to sum James up. He does what he has to do when he has to do it for the majority of the time. If he's down one stage, then you virtually guarantee that he will come back up again if he's having a problem one way.
Basketball in WA owes a lot to the Ellis family, and while many snubbed the American imports, they didn't. 300 gamer and dual championship skipper Mike Ellis, quick to recognise that the game needed a lift. James Crawford provided it. If JC is JC, Leroy Loggins is God. Sure, the pair have turned the ball over more than most, committed more fouls than most, but they've achieved a great deal more than most. Combined, Crawford and Loggins have played 862 games and amassed a staggering 20,709 points.
Your first trip over here?
Yeah, first trip to Australia, I came by on a NAIA All-Star team to Queensland, matter of fact, the Yo part of the country. Mm-hmm. I was up there for 6 weeks that we toured around, played with the Maine Tigers, and after that I went back to the States and played for college for another year. Yeah.
Did you get up north? Did you get up to Rocky and Mackay?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like that?
Yeah, I remember the place really, I went down south, I guess it's out there. I went to Toowoomba. That's one place stood out there. It was cold up there, man.
They thought I was crazy in Toowoomba, man.
Yeah.
Because I must have been the first guy in Australia that played in tracksuit pants. I was in Toowoomba. I was like, it's too cold, and I wasn't hardly wearing much back then, I'm still a thin guy, but I can just remember going up to that cold place, and I still don't go up there too much these days.
Lower Peachtree, Alabama. I know when he first arrived in Geelong, we looked at him and, Lower Peachtree, here's a black guy with freckles. We hadn't seen that. And when he stepped on the court, he was replacing one of the better players in the Victorian Basketball League named Steve Kalasinski, who had taken us to the Super Challenge Grand Final. So, we had beat all the National League clubs, and we're making our debut in the National League next year. Just haven't been voted in. So now we got a new import in James Crawford. And when he arrived, he didn't even make a layup. Everyone's like, God, we got a dud here. He's missed every, he's not even looking at the goal, missing layups. And finally, he just exploded from outside the key ring and boom, and everyone like, what happened? Did you see that? Oh, making all kind of noises. And from that point on, the next game we played, or the first game we played against Melbourne Tigers, and we lost by 40 points with James. And we thought, this is going to be a long battle. We don't know if he's going to cut it, But we still championship hangover from winning the Super Challenge. But the following game, he exploded for like 35 points. Half of those were dunks. He blocked like 15 shots, and Larry Singstock was on the receiving end of most of those, and everyone said, this guy is unreal. Then 2 games later, he tore his knee up. And at that time, we didn't know whether they were going to retain him or not, because he's out, for the whole summer.
I can also remember when I first played against you, when you were playing with Geelong, and I had never seen you play. And I heard so much about you because I knew y'all had like Danny Morsu.
Yeah.
I think Cal Bruton was there.
Yeah.
And you had a few other guys. And I can remember one particular play where the ball came off for a rebound.
Yeah.
And I felt somebody climbing up my back, which is very rarely done.
Yeah.
And I said, who in the hell was that?
Yeah.
And it was you trying to dunk. And I think you missed the dunk, but you gave me a hell of a fright, man.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I just, I'm in the highlight group with you, man. I just watch. If you come and get out the way.
In '85, I left, and he went on to Canberra and really got himself established there as a true player, being outside the Geelong scene. And then, of course, the move to Perth, he started out working in the Bury Casino, working in stock, and then he worked himself into the junior development program, and Town and Country came on board, and I think they've been synonymous ever since. So I watched him come from the humble beginnings to the point where, he's still very conservative, but at the same time, he's been very focused on achieving his goals, and I think he's done very, very well in that regard.
If you thought eating vegetables was bad,
Begin.
what about them eating you?
That plant just grabbed me.
From the nail-biting stories of R.L. Stein.
Who knows what those plants can do? Help me, I'm
Goosebumps, 6:30 tonight.
Then at 7:30, Sinbad battles a monster with a Midas touch.
All these statues were once real people.
And an explosive taste in art.
These are my greatest works ever.
Who will escape his gallery of horrors? Sinbad following Goosebumps tonight on 10.
The new accelerator from Town and Country offers a quicker way to pay off your home loan. A way that helps you leap ahead by offering a low ongoing variable rate and flexible repayments. You can put in extra whenever you want, and you can pay your loan off anytime. So to leap ahead on your home loan, get Town and Country on the phone.
Bungie West!
Wonderful, excellent.
Great, fantastic, good to do it.
It was awesome.
Unreal.
Yep, it was great. Bungie West! Is it true you can keep going all night on one glass of milk?
What, too right. The 2 glasses are even better.
Milk. Are you getting enough?
Goodbye to bending over, and goodbye to messy paint trays forever. Because the paint stick takes paint right from the can. It fills in seconds. Then just push the handle in to feed paint to the roller.
See us at the Burswood Home Show this weekend only.
Before Andrew Vlahov stepped into the fray, he would look and learn from the master. The pair now form a part of the wall that has made life more than difficult for the opposition.
Can you tell us a little bit, I mean, how did you first get here and why?
Well, basically, first game I played in the NBL was against the Perth Wildcats, and actually, funny enough, I actually was
that in 1982?
82.
I was at that game.
Oh, really?
As a 13-year-old, I was at that game at Perry Lakes.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
That's showing my age though, but that's all right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but we're driving through South Perth, and we're staying in these little hotels over there, and I'm saying, I like this area. This is a nice place. I wouldn't mind living here one day, and I'm not even thinking I was going to actually be here, but then going back to Geelong, I stayed there, then went to Canberra, then I always wanted to get here in Perth, and I arrived here in like 87, and it was like perfect place for me.
And I mean, it was, Cal Bruton was instrumental in bringing you and Tiny to the Wildcats. I mean, yeah. Bob Williams took the team over, and sort of really made it one of the first professional teams in Australia. And he brought in, the big guns.
Yeah, he brought in it was like Cal and I and Tiny and Steve Davis, and had like Trevor, Eric, Mike, Glenn Ellis and Eric Watterson. Just a bunch of guys, man. But one thing would make that team special that year, that everybody wanted to improve, and everyone seen like those guys that have been here for so long. So it's the first time they actually could make the playoff.
Yeah.
And that was and our training was intense, and everybody was all focused in the crowd. After the first preseason game, we started seeing that these guys could have something special here. And they came out to the game, and that's when the running stunt was definitely in fashion.
That was happening.
I was at my athletic best at that stage. I was in my prime, so running was just something I could just do and jumping. And they had Tiny could run like the wind. You had Cal with the ball handling skills and running. Mike was shooting, and we were just off and rolling. You got Trevor, which is one of the fastest guys in the country.
I was very excited with the fact that James was coming over, because whilst we'd been a very big part of basketball in Western Australia, we still hadn't been in a situation where we were prominent in Australian basketball circles. We'd done very well considering what we had as far as talent. The imports that we had been realistically below par compared to the rest of the league, and suddenly we were getting someone like James that could come over and really give us another dimension. And it was very, very exciting. And from our point of view, I'd like to think that James believed that we opened our arms up to him and welcomed him in, because I honestly believe that's what we did.
The team was assembled. This superstar team now that the Wildcats had in '87. There was a lot of people, great winning streak during the year, and then you guys are into the playoffs for the very first time. Tell us about that.
The playoff was good. I'll tell you what, we ran up on this little stumbling block against the LA 36ers. With Adelaide, we actually lost the first game here at home. We went to LA to play the next two, and we ended up being down probably by like 14 points going into like the fourth quarter.
In game 3.
In game 2.
In game 2, yeah.
And Cal fouled out. So then at that stage, I tried to lift my game a little bit, and I got on. Matter of fact, I just got hot. I got on one of those little zones.
One of those world famous JC runs.
Yeah, I got on one of those little runs, which I had probably like 17 points in that quarter, and I ended up. It's like 5 seconds left. We're taking the ball out from the side, and I watch this video occasionally because the guys always joke about it. Peter Adelaide was actually guarding me. I grabbed the ball, jumped up and did one of those split moves, turned, went in a different direction, because I had two guys on me and the third one running after me, and shot it. The buzzer went off, the basket went in, we ended up winning, and that was the greatest feeling.
There's nothing better in basketball than hitting that sort of shot.
It was an ecstasy. But then for game 3, we actually have another player to come out the woodwork to actually win that game for us. Everyone else played well, but Alan Black in the game 3, he had about like 24 points. He was just shooting all the shots from the center around, and they were disrespecting him. They wasn't showing. They were trying to like double team in. All the other guys, leaving them open. But you can't leave a guy like him open, because he's an excellent shooter. You know he's a competitor. So all of that went down. We won. The third time we met was in '87. We got to 87. We was here for my first year at the Perth Wildcats. We went all the way to the grand final. Played through all that at the Superdrome. And the first game of 3. And you all took off and had like a 5-point lead. And after halftime, we made our run. We were charging up on you all. We got up, the score was like tied. And guess what? The lights went out.
I can remember that, because I was sitting on the sidelines. I had nothing to do with it.
I think when you went away, the lights went off. You hurt your knee, I think, so you bumped your knee.
That's right, I had a bad knee at the time.
Then the lights went off. Then you came back, you had enough time to recover, and that was it. I'm saying, you can't get this man no time to recover.
I think Emery Atkinson helped us a lot that game, because, he did some outstanding things during that game, and that's the only reason I think we won that series.
We went on a road trip, and James was averaging about 34 points a game. And we played down in Hobart, and I think he had like 9 points. So we were really bagging him, saying, hey, listen, pal, you're way off your average. And he just sort of looked at us all and said, no, my average will be there. It'll be there. And he's come out on the second night, and we played the Tigers, and he had 57. And I called him Calculator, because I reckon he had this little calculator in his sock, and he kept checking his average. Worked out perfect. He got the exact amount of points for the average for the road trip. He was just unbelievable.
Start packing as holiday sails south of the border.
We're in Mexico.
Learns to samba in Rio. Shows how to trace your family history. Relaxes and unwinds in Cairns and New Zealand. Holiday, 8:30 tonight on 10.
Hi, I'm Carmel with more product news from South Pacific Computers. I know how important buying a complete computer package is for my family, and South Pacific Computers have now made it easy with the ultimate multimedia package that they will deliver and install in your home anywhere in Australia. An IBM P166 computer system with 32 meg of RAM and a 2.1 gig hard disk, power with plenty of storage space, a 15-inch digital colour monitor, a Sony 8-speed CD-ROM drive, a Sound Blaster stereo sound card, and 40-watt stereo amplified speakers. The Hewlett-Packard DeskJet 400 colour printer, and a 33.6K internet fax modem. The latest software from Microsoft, including Windows 95, Microsoft Works with word processing, spreadsheets and database, Microsoft Money, Creative Writer, and the 1997 Encarta Encyclopedia with 26,000 articles. The complete system for home or business. With South Pacific Computers, you buy directly from the manufacturer and save money. So a system which would normally retail for over $5,000 is only $2,995 plus delivery. It's a special payment plan for this complete computer package of just $50 right now, no repayments for 6 months, and no interest for 6 months. You can order right now by calling free call 1-800-68-5000. South Pacific Computers are there to make it easy with their free installation and training in your home. The system is covered by a 3-year on-site fully insured warranty and a free 24-hour telephone helpline. This computer package has everything. You get the complete computer system, printer, fax modem, software, in-home support, training and service. This is a limited offer. You should take advantage of it right now. Free call 1-800-68-5000.
'87, we win it. '88, y'all put us out.
Yeah.
Then we faced y'all in 1990, man.
1990, oh, that was sweet. 1990.
For some it was sweet.
Yeah. But it was a big challenge, though. You know what I mean? It was a good game because we came here, we won the first game.
Yeah.
You know, tight, really hard played game. We went over there for game 2, and y'all just absolutely thrashed us.
Well, we had to, man. We didn't have a choice. Our backs were up against the wall. We had like 10,000, 12,000 screaming fans. And unfortunately, we ran out of gas on Sunday.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, that's the story. I'm gonna tell you a story about that. After game 2, when y'all beat us there at home, we went back to the hotel. That night we talking about what we need to do, and the owners of our club then, you know, Kerry Stokes, very determined guy, winner to his heart.
He didn't know y'all contracts up, did he? And said
he did more than that. He got there, he said, well, all you guys, what's going on? It's just like being slapped in the face. They just humiliate y'all today. They just slap y'all in the face. So I said, we just all right. He said, okay, everyone who's right-handed, raise your right hand. And those who left-handed, raise your left hand. Okay, slap yourself. Everybody went. He walked out the room. We come back. He said, raise your hand again. That's right-handed. Those are left-handed. And slap yourself. Really say, went fire. Then we like angry. Okay, now that's it. That's enough. You know, we went back out there the next game. We was all focused on getting the job done because what he tried to do was bring some attention to details that we really wasn't thinking about it, and really what happened to us was being outplayed, you know what I mean? So in some ways, we look at that, that's like the running joke throughout the club of what he done to us that night. But in all reality, I have to like to say thank to him now because we ended up winning the championship, and that was the edge that gave it to us. It was great.
Out of the 3 championships that we won in 1990, 91 and 95. That's 3 championships in the last 6 years with this club. I mean, that's a pretty amazing feat, really, when you think about it. And you are, you know, seriously responsible for a lot of that.
Yeah, as long as I
take credit for that.
No, I like to just think.
Come on now.
Simple. I like to think that I'm a part of it. I think I'm one of the reasons why the club is successful. I'm only just one of the reasons. You know, to be a good team, you got to have all your bases covered. And I think with the Wildcats, we got excellent point guard, we got power forwards, we got small forwards, we got off guards, and without that, you can't win a good team. But everyone's gonna have to be able to hold down their role. You know, and for myself, I was being proud to be able to hold down my role as a import, then turn it into an Australian in 1989, and to be able to hold down a center position at 6'7" for like 7 years, you know, and I think that's an amazing feat, and that's something I really feel proud of. But the sweetest victory of them all was 95, was 95, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
95 was the year which everything was on the line. We were playing well. We won the preseason tournament. Then we got there, we won the NBL championship.
Yeah.
And by doing that, we got a trip to go to London. And before that game, I'm in the hotel that night because it's always been one of my dreams to play in the NBA, which I can tell at this stage of my career, being like 35 or 36 at that stage, and I'm thinking that's not going to happen, but this is close as I got that I feel like I can make that happen. So I'm staying in the room, I'm concentrating, saying like, okay, this is what I need to do. I want to really play well, and it's just the nerves. As opposed we don't win, I don't get a chance to go, and that's going to be over. You understand? North Melbourne could win. It's just things that you really want to say, oh, you know, there's no way I could really get into sleep. So that game, when we started, it was like everything worked for me. It was like magic. I'm in the right places. My shot was falling. It was just one of those zones, some of those games, which I had before, but the timing of that game is like...
You couldn't have come good at a better time, could you?
It was the best possible thing I had, but also during that time was extra pressure, but that shows you want something bad enough, you concentrate on it hard enough, you'll get it. Because I'm also negotiating my contract at that stage, you know. The club was saying, like,
there's a little extra motivation in there, was there?
Hey, I'm a professional athlete, and I've been a professional athlete for 17 years, and you only get paid on performance.
That's
you know,
true.
People judge you on how you perform at that time, and
you're only as good as your last game.
Last game, and that was the last game of the possibles of the season. And if you win that, when you come out well, let's have a conversation with that one. Let's talk about, you know, there it is. And
I think the club had no qualms about getting out the checkbook for you that year.
It basically come down. The club took care of me. The club always taken care of me, and I have no problem with them. I really respect what they've done for me as a person and in my career and how they helped develop me. But that came down to just a matter of years. They were looking at, still wanted me to play. They only wanted 1 year, but I knew my body was fit enough and I was healthy enough to play for the 3 years, and that's the problem we was dealing with at that stage. And now I'm into the second year of that 3-year deal, and they can tell.
I think you still got 3 more after this.
Well, I guess being a point guard, what I basically do is I try and read the pulse of every player out there. And there are some times that I know when James is in his mood, you know, you just get him the ball because it's going to happen. As I say, it happened in the North Melbourne Giants game in 1995. It happened, I wasn't here, but against Adelaide, I think it was in '87 when James had 21 points in the fourth quarter and broke Mark Davis's and the 36ers back. You know, it happened when he played on a nearly broken ankle. I wasn't here again, but I know the history of it when he scored 40-some points against the North Melbourne Giants in Game 2 of the finals to take them to Game 3. So, you know, when James is in his zone, just like any other athlete, get him the ball.
It's Comedy Sunday.
Photo op.
Fran's headed for stardom.
I heard moaning and screaming coming from your room, and I figured I should be a part of it.
At 6:30, an all-new Nanny. Then at 7, he's a rebel. And he'll never ever be any good.
Who does Nelson think he's impressing anyway?
But nice girls always fall for bad boys. A brand new Simpsons. And at 8, Elaine's got Sunday Night Fever on an all-new Seinfeld.
More like a full-body dry heave. Set the music.
The Nanny, Simpsons, and Seinfeld. 6:30 Sunday.
Glenn Seaton's preparing for a hard race. Pure punishment. There are incredible physical demands. Starting time, fueling's critical. Icy, strong iced coffee. Fuel for the day.
The new accelerator from Town & Country offers a quicker way to pay off your home loan. A way that helps you leap ahead by offering a low ongoing variable rate and flexible repayments. You can put in extra whenever you want, and you can pay your loan off anytime. So to leap ahead on your home loan, get Town & Country on the phone.
Want to escape the hassles of the week? Cool down and beat the summer heat. The Browns Coffee Chill Splashdown Party is the place to be.
Every Friday and Saturday night, 7 till 10:30. With unlimited water slides, unlimited garden golf, trampolines and a DJ playing great music, all for only $12. Only at The Great Escape, Hillary's Boat Harbour. The Browns Coffee Chill Splashdown Party is the place to chill out this summer.
Lindsay's preparing for a hard race. Fueling's critical. Icy, strong iced coffee. Fuel for the day.
You know, to see him jump up, hold the ball above the rim, let somebody fly by, and then dunk it. You know, to see me play the best defense I can, someone beats me, and there's James to come out of nowhere and block the shot. And just to see him get excited, because James, you know, he's pretty relaxed. You don't see him get excited too much, but when he does, it's contagious, and everybody knows this is something special.
He's definitely a family man. He is certainly, I would say, the consummate professional, you know, in all senses of the word, not just on the floor, but off the floor, his business side of things. And he likes to put back into the community as well. He's not someone that just takes. And I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of them that have come and gone, but that's why he's still here.
And how about your family? You got two lovely daughters, a lovely wife now.
Yeah, I got a lovely family, man.
One thing about James, we'll be lying down on the floor stretching or doing something, and in come these little kids, and they come up to Jay and they give him a little hug while he's lying on the ground, then they run back out again. I mean, that's got to be something else.
That's sweet, man. I got really lovely kids. They are very cheeky with personalities, and I just love that. You know, I don't
just like their old man.
That's right. That's how I let them go with it. Charisma, but they run out there and they give me hugs, they give me kisses because they miss me. You know, and being a basketball player,
you don't really get to see as much as your family as you like.
No,
do you?
You don't. And sometimes you get there, you like to feel like you give them all you have, but sometimes you get there, you're a bit tired, you know, and you don't really do the things that they want to do. You know, sometimes I feel a bit sad about that, but I'll make sure I try to take them out to swing, do different kind of stuff. But you always want to give them more, you know what I mean? But they're good. I guess my wife, you know, I'm lucky. She's an excellent mom. She's an excellent wife to me, you know, and it's been great, you know.
It's important though, isn't it? I mean, we spend a lot of time traveling all around the countryside, and really, you know, the partners in our life, they got to be extra strong because, you know, their husbands aren't around all the time, and they got to do all the sort of stuff by themselves, don't they?
They're the mother and the father for a lot of time because you're there, you leave, and you go away for like 4 days, and they have to deal with all the problems, the sickness, you know, the kids when they're being cheeky, being bad, don't want to go to bed or get up during the night, which I go through all of those, and the dirty nappies. Don't want to do those, you know, but you have no choice.
If I have anything to do with it, in which I won't, but if I could have any influence, I would like for him to be around as long as I'm around. James is just one of those special athletes. He takes care of his body. You know, he still really enjoys the game. He loves to compete, and the stats are stacking up. So this is his testimonial year, but James, don't let this be your last.
You know, there's a lot of people talk about different things, how they've had bad upbringings, they've had this, they've had that, all the hardship stories, the hard luck stories, you hear them all the time. But James has come from a very, very small town, Peachtree, Alabama. I mean, not too many people even have ever heard of that place. You know, was brought up by his grandmother, all these sorts of things. Had it tough, you know, went to small colleges and just built his way up. And, you know, from those backgrounds to come to where he's got to now, I think is a tribute to James and himself.
I believe that he's well and truly, the 10 years here in Perth, he's established himself as a Hall of Famer. You know, I go to the Superdome occasionally now and walk down into that celebrity sort of library, if you like, or Hall of Fame hall. You see that big blow-up picture of James dunking in the Superdome. I remember the exact play. And you think about, well, that's him, you know, and he's made his mark well and truly in the game here. And I think it's going to be a long time before you actually find another James Crawford come along and be able to establish himself in the same way.
If anyone deserves a testimonial year, it's James, and I just really hope everyone gets behind it and supports him.